All right, welcome to the Simple Little Life Build Along number 3. If you're new to the channel and you do not know what I'm talking about, this is a little series we started on this channel, and it actually wasn't my idea, it was suggested by a viewer, and it's a really great idea. It's so cool. What we do is we all kind of work together at the same time making the same knife, the same design, that we work from the same template. I thought this was a really cool concept, and especially the thing that I really wanted this series to do was to kind of like kick people in the butt, the people that have always wanted to make a knife but haven't actually done it. You know what? This is it, man. Now is the time. Gather your materials, get out to your garage, your shed, the patio in your apartment, whatever you have. Let's make a knife together. What we do is every Friday, I'll post an update video on the progress that I've made. The concept is that you can watch that video and you've got till the next Friday to complete those steps. We'll go through it bit by bit, kind of break everything down into little pieces, explain what we're doing so that you can replicate that as you free up some time for yourself during the week. The end goal being that at the end of the month, you have made a knife. And it is such a great feeling. A lot of you guys know I've been very taken with kitchen knives, particularly Japanese styled kitchen knives. I love Japanese kitchen knives, but I've been making Japanese styled kitchen knives. And the reason I call them Japanese styled kitchen knives is because they're not Japanese knives. I mean, they're not. Those things are, those are what I strive to. My goal as a knife maker would be one day to make knives like that. Those things are phenomenal. But I really take a lot of inspiration from the Japanese knives. Now, one thing about kitchen knives is that they're typically ground fairly thin, and especially these Japanese ones, the way they're ground, a lot of them, they stay thin for a long time. Recently, my wife and I bought a Masakage Yuki Banka, and that thing, even when it's dull, it is like a laser. It just cuts up vegetables like there's nothing there, and that's because it's ground so thin. Now, in thinking about this project, I know that that's very difficult to do. I mean, that takes a lot of work, and if you're a new knife maker, it might be kind of daunting, and it's tricky to figure that out. So what I've drawn up for this build along is a knife that's referred to as a petty. It's a small kitchen knife. Not as small as like a paring knife, but a small kitchen knife. This is the knife that we're going to make. So what you can do, if you want to build along with us, go ahead and just screenshot your video screen right now, and then you can kind of print this out, size it up as you would wish. That way you've got something to reference and build from. If you're a Patreon supporter, this will be on Patreon as a download, so you can just download it, print it off as an 8.5 by 11. So you should be able to print that off as 8.5 by 11, and boom, you'd be good to go. This is actually the knife. I've got some of these cut out for customers. But when I drew this knife out, what I'd wanted was a small knife. It wasn't too big. I mean, if we had a really large heel, it'd kind of look goofy. You know, I've made some kitchen knives before that kind of came out straight, and with the blades not being super thick right here, when you're working on the cutting board, your knuckles are getting smashed, and there's just not enough room for your hands. So what I did with this knife is you kind of see how the handle's kicked up at an angle without looking too goofy. Like, it's not like I wanted to have a knife and then boom, handle like that. I think it flows, and so the idea is that you can kind of be working down like this, still use that whole blade, and have clearance for your knuckles. That's what I'm hoping we can do with this. Also, this knife isn't finished yet. I still have to shoulder it off for the tang where it's going into the handle. We're gonna do traditional WA style handle, and I still don't know for sure how they do it traditionally. I'm gonna do a lot more research and talk to some people that might be able to steer me in the right direction. A lot of you guys have given me some great input and great ideas, and I think there's actually a couple different ways that it's traditionally done. But so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this knife. So if you want to partake, and I really strongly suggest you do, what you need to do is this. Take this next week. You've got a whole week to source your materials. Find a steel that's suitable. Figure out what tools you're gonna use. Really, it might be a hand filing jig. We covered that in the very first build along. It might be a disc sander or a grinder, whatever. Think of a way that you could shape this material as thin as possible. Also, get your material. This here is 1/16 of an inch. You do not need this thin. This is pretty difficult to work with. I would say if you're feeling like you can handle it, try something like 1/8 of an inch, right? Maybe thinner if you want to. Ultimately though, thicker material is easier to work with, and people will look at this and say, oh, that's not a kitchen knife, it's too thick. If you're making your first knife, who cares what they say? Try it out, use it, see what you think. You gotta start somewhere. Find yourself some steel, find some hardwood that you can use for a handle. If you wanna do a bolster, if not, it's up to you. We're gonna use a dowel, probably about a 1/2 inch dowel. We'll again kind of cover this in more detail as we get going, but that's what we need to do. We need to get some hardwood. You can find like turning blank. I don't know where you can get hardwood in your area, but find something. Even oak, you know, even oak if that's all you can get. Figure out something. You're probably gonna want a piece that's at least 1 inch by 1 inch and about 5 or 6 inches long. And I'm gonna need a drill to drill a hole into that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I've had a lot of you guys requesting, when's the next build along coming? It's here. Woo! I'll be back with another video about this on Friday. Show you where we're at. We'll cut out our profile, whatever steel I decide I'm gonna use. I'm probably gonna use 1084 with it and try Hamon. Don't know for sure, but that's kind of where I'm going. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. At the end of this whole process, you will have a kitchen knife that you can use, whether you're using in the kitchen, or your husband or your wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, they're just gonna be like, wow, this is so cool, you made this knife. We are making knives together. That's what I love about this. Also, you can share all your work, progress shots, finish shots, whatever, using the hashtag SLL build along on Instagram. And then at the end of this process, you can email your pictures to me and we will compile them and maybe do like a viewer's knives video specific to this project. Also, I'm not promising this and I really would like to do this, but it'd be kind of fun to do YouTube live at the end of it. We'll get it scheduled and then we can all just jump on there and chat and hang out, and maybe if I can figure out how to do a screen capture live, I don't know if I can do that or not. I'm not that tech savvy. But it'd be really cool to get together and, you know, just talk about our knives, how we enjoyed it, what the process was, and learn from each other, share with each other. That's the whole point, and it's so much fun. Anyways, guys, I really look forward to this Simple Little Life build along number 3. I hope you are too. I really hope you take part. If you're on the fence going, I don't know, I want to build a knife. No, you want to build a knife. Get your hands dirty. Make something useful with your hands. It's such a great feeling, and it's just a blast. I look forward to seeing what you guys are making and building along with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers. Make knives. Woohoo!